Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to my intermediate Unity 5 tutorial series. So today we are going to continue on with our game here. We're going to do a little bit more difficulty addition. Make sure my mic's on there. Got my clock running. We're going to add a little bit more difficulty to the game, so we're going to well, not add more difficulty. We're going to make so we already added most of the difficulty that we're going to have. We just need to fix the stamina component so that I'm going to add two components to it. One is that the stamina increases over time if you don't swing. Two is that the zombies will actually drop stamina pickups and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start working on the code for that. So I have the asset, and I'll jot that in here. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we go, right here. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually what I started to do was I actually, in my other program, in my main one that I'm developing the game on, and then this is following it, I moved everything that is controlled by the game into this one here, and everything was static, and I just referenced to the variables locally here and pulled them with getters and setters and stuff. So we're going to do that at the very end, because we need that to work correctly in order to optimize our game a little better, in order to easier to read and whatnot, blah blah blah. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to say public. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have our stamina, and we're going to push it into here. In public and stamina rate. And I just did the stamina rate today, so it's a relatively newer concept. Then I need a final one, which is a vector3 public static vector3 death location. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna have like this candy bar looking stamina power up. So what happens when you kill a zombie, it'll save exactly where you killed that zombie, and then it will pop up where that zombie died. So what we're going to do for that, and we're going to say and we have another one here that's going to say bool spawn stamina equals false. And another thing is also we want to do a random number generator, so that it generates a random number to drop that key, to drop the stamina. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a draw and a what's the word I'm looking for? We're gonna have a draw, and then each time we're gonna draw. Every time we kill an enemy, it's gonna randomly generate a number. So public int stamina drop key equals, wait, what was this? Public static public static int stamina drop key equals random dot range. Sorry about my typing. It's not going to be the best today because I have a band-aid on my index finger, my right hand, so a little slow on that side. We don't actually really need the stamina draw. I did that just to have a little debug line. to make sure it works correctly, but now that I know obviously it works correctly, that was mainly for prototyping purpose. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to add another if statement here. Spawn stamina equals true. And we are going to do a couple things. We're going to instantiate stamina power at the death location. And we're just going to have it be identity. Oh, did I add that? No. Public transform stamina power. So that's going to be where our prefab is located. So stamina power is our prefab, and that's going to have the script, the colliders, all that other stuff. Death location. And what it's going to do is it's just going to spawn stamina equals false. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is inside zombie death, sorry about that, let me go ahead and close this. Inside zombie death, we're going to be generating the random number. So stamina draw is equals a random. I wish I could take this band-aid off quickly. I should have done it before. 110. So the random range is basically creating an integer between 1 and 10. So you have a 1 in 10 chance each time that you kill a zombie in order to get the stamina draw. And later on, I'm going to turn those into 1 to some random integer. So, and that integer will be changeable inside of, so it's going to be a public, not a static, because you cannot edit static inside of the editor. So you could edit it and configure it when you're balancing the game out. Death location equals death loc, and spawn stamina equals true. Okay. Spawn stamina. Yeah, stamina is spawn stamina. This is supposed to be static. Okay. So spawn stamina. Oops. Okay, there we go. Deathlock equals deathlock. That doesn't seem right. Death location equals death loc. Okay, so now we're going to add a parameter here that basically says that we're going to accept the death location of the zombie. 3 death loc. Okay. So now we're going to accept the location of the zombie. And that looks good. That looks good. Public void. This is going to be. So we have a couple more things that we're going to need to add here. So let's just fix the. Let's just have it spawn first, and then we'll do the rest of that stuff. So what I actually have to do is I have to open up my zombie one because I didn't open it up. Okay, there we go. Killing zombie. Ah, there it is. Okay, so zombie right here. All I did is this dot transform dot local position. That's all I did. Now it just shoves this location into the other one, and it will actually pull the guy. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to my assets here, And I'm going to go to stock assets, and I'm going to look for stamina bar. Okay. So then I'm going to go to my other one. Whoops. Ain't the right one. There it is. And then we go ahead and drop that in there. I could have just dragged it in there. That would have been a lot better. But, oh well. Okay. Okay. 100% good. So, now that we have that, what I'm going to do is we're going to first up, here's the stamina bar here. First thing I'm going to do is change the size. Oh, and I need to do all the different types of stuff here where you do sprite mode. Whatever. Point, no filter. Fly. Okay. So that should be okay. Wait, where'd it go? What the hell? What happened? There it is. Okay, so this is point, no filter, perfect. Oops. Stamina bar. Okay, let's do it to where you know it's about the right size of stamina bar, or so. Okay. So now with the stamina bar, what we're going to do is we're going to add some components. We're going to add a physics 2D box collider around it. And you notice that the box collider is huge, probably because I should turn it into a standard sprite so it's smaller, but I mean into a multiple sprite so I can use sprite sheet and just have it automatically cut itself out. But right now this is fine. Just going to change this collider here. Now I'm just going to set this to is trigger, so this is just going to be a trigger and it's not going to fall, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And also if it's a trigger, it's a lot less it's a lot less intensive on the physics engine to have to compute that stuff. So now I need to open up sorry about that. I don't know why this time it didn't open everything up. Okay. Alright, now we got everything open so I could tell you exactly what to do. Alright, so Alright, so it should be in my character controller, which is main. This one's character control. Okay, it should be in here. I hit the stamina bar, so character controller. Here, we're just going to add the if call.gameObject.tag equals stamina. Then what I'm going to do... Oh, whoa. Then... okay, that's weird. Anyways, we're going to have the character. This is basically just this guy here. Wait. Oh, I know what I did. Sorry. This other one I have is kind of jacked up. So what I actually needed to do, is create a new C# script, and was this going to call the stamina? And then when that guy opens up, this one, load. Yes, whatever. What the hell? There it goes. Okay. In here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take from the game controller. I'm going to take this. I'll take the whole thing. Screw it. and then I'm going to delete this. This is actually going to be handled by the stamina controller here. So this is not going to be here. This is not going to be here. So I mean, yeah, I guess you could have it a different way, but right now this is how I did it. So this will all be, as I told you, even when I'm doing it myself, I'm just prototyping it, throwing it together, and getting it to work. And then at the end, that's when I optimize the game. That's a lot easier with these smaller projects. Bigger projects, it's very difficult to keep on top of that. So it's easier just to do, just to spend quite a bit of time laying out your game before you know. Here it's very easy because I already, as far as laying stuff out, because I already have everything set in another image, I guess you could say. Okay. But as you see, this right here is not very beneficial because this is in a complete different place, so I'll probably end up moving this to character controller to handle any of the... Well, it would have to actually be in the player, because the player is the one with the player. Is the only one that can detect those two collisions. So now we need to set stamina. What? God damn it. This is a character controller, not the game controller. Okay. There we go. Okay. There you go. You have those. The decreased stamina we'll do in a second. Okay, so now all we gotta do is we gotta change our weapon to basically get everything. So what did I should have just changed one thing. Current swing. So rotation left stamina. Okay, so what I did, use stamina, decrease stamina, and then I have stamina. So I also need to write that. Stamina game controller dot get stamina. Okay, so current upswing, all that stuff is perfect. Okay. So now I need to go back to my game controller, and I'm gonna do game controller main. Okay. Then game controller. Okay, so that's gonna be here. That's gonna be public static void decrease stamina. Okay. This is going to be stamina minus equals stamina loss. Okay, So it's basically just going to take your stamina, decrease it, etc, etc, etc. Alright, so give me a second. Let me let my cat out. She's crying. Alright, so we are looking good. One successful, no problems. So let's go ahead and roll in and take a look. We saw everything update. This update over here. And you see our stamina is decreasing correctly. So that's good. And you also know, oh, sorry, I didn't delete this. I need to create the prefab, create, and prefab. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this guy into that prefab. Delete it. Oh, another thing I forgot to do. I'm going to add the script to it. Stamina script. Now I'm going to change this into the back into the prefab. Stamina script 100. So it's just going to max you out at 100. Then I need to go to, where do I have it on? Main camera? Main camera, stamina power, new prefab. Alright, now if I kill a certain number of zombies, the prefab should show up. And how many zombies does it take to get there? Quite a few. Because it's 1 in 10 chance, so not all the zombies are going to pop it up. There it is. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to even get to it, unfortunately. Do I have... So, player. I didn't have the player tagged on it. Should be. Yep. So I didn't have him tagged as player, so it's not going to detect the collision correctly. Oh. We kill him first before they get too far, because then that would mean that. Huh. Give me a second. Figure out what I did. There it is. Okay. So let me just show you one more time. Getting pretty good, about 23 minutes into the video. Hopefully one of them drops it pretty soon. Doesn't look like he's going to do so. But, luckily for me, I could cheat. Oh, it didn't change it. That's not good. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so the issue with that was, why did it do that? Okay, so that's under... That is the reason why I didn't do that, because it only calls it once you swing. So if that's the case right there, and also on the one that I made, on the one that my main one that I'm working on, I moved all the text into the game controller. So all this text is in the game controller. All the HUD is in the game controller. All right. So we want to add one last little thing that we prototyped, and that is like his health regens when he's not hitting anything. So over time it's gonna regen, and so let's go ahead and do that. That's public int stamina rate, and I think 35 or something like that was the correct value. It's not exactly the best way of doing it, but it's okay for what we're doing with it now. So I'm going to do if stamina is less than 100. So we only want to do it if it's less than 100. Where did I do that? Oh, I did it up there. Okay. Just 35. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to call stamina refresh. So refresh over time, stamina refresh. You get the idea. Okay. Public. Where is it? Okay, void stamina refresh. And like I said, I just prototyped this earlier today, about 2 hours ago or so. So this, if you run out of time, if you can't get to the stamina bar or whatever, you're able to just sit there, and I don't actually need this really. That was a debug line. It'll allow you to just sit there and just refresh. Without having to go get the stamina bar. Because otherwise, just like that last game as you saw it, I would just be running out, and I could possibly never find any stamina. So it's like, that's not okay. I want the game to be, difficult, but not so difficult that, like, you die because you didn't draw a lucky number. So, basically what's happening here is that if the stamina, so it takes the stamina and it multiplies it by that stamina rate, and then multiplies it by the time between frames, so that whether you have a 60 frames per second computer or a 30 frames per second mobile device, you'll still you'll still feel like the exact same game. So if you take those two and you multiply it and it's above 100, it's just going to set it to 100, because we don't want our stamina to go above 100. And then otherwise, it will just take this previous stamina and add the stamina rate multiplied by the time delta time. I noticed that this wasn't in parentheses, even though order operations should take care of that. Okay, successful. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let me just make sure the script updated. It still says down raise, whatever. Okay. Was it 35? Let me go ahead and tell you guys the issue. The issue with this is that the time.delta time is usually very, very small, and then I'm concatenating it to an int, which basically means that it will basically delete it for the most part if it's not Let me see if I could, because this is actually what I ran with, and it was perfectly fine. So let me go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Uh-oh. Oops. Okay. Oh. So it's not high enough. Sorry about that. Cat's trying to get back in. Alright, so we're about 3 minutes in. Okay. So it's pretty funny when it works. It actually works pretty well. There you go, you see it now. So it's gonna be like 60 something. So there you see it. Because since my computer is faster than my laptop, this number has to be higher because there's less time between frames compared to my laptop. So basically what I need to do is I need to figure out how to multiply this by some other sort of scalar. Or just have some sort of, you know, float value. So what I could do, actually I'll do this right now, just, you know, just check it. So that's basically what I'll do, is I'll just say, I'll just say basically this stuff. Oh shit. And this guy right here will just be stamina overflow. So it'll just build up over time, and it should be perfectly fine, and then all it'll do is it'll just shove it in there. Wait, did I? Sorry, so I'm going to plus that. Whoa. Interesting. Ah. That's not right. Okay, cool. What's going on? Okay. Alrighty. Interesting how it's not working all the time. It's got to be just how it's being displayed. It's just a display issue because of the difference between how I didn't move everything into this game controller. Otherwise, it would display correctly. All right, so you get the basic gist of adding this this extra mechanics. Let me just go over what I did. So what I did is I added all these variables here, the stamina. So I relocated the stamina from our character controller into our game controller here, and then I created some. I did a random integer and a stamina draw to determine if the stamina will be instantiated at the zombie death site when you kill the zombie. And I did that by using two things. This one here, so that I could use that one was because I could use a public variable instead of a static variable. So I had to have an extra variable to store that. Then I had basically this guy right here, the zombie death, and I added a vector3 death location, so the zombie class would actually send out its death location, and then it would instantiate the stamina if the key, the spawn draw, and the spawn drop key equaled each other. Then I added stamina bar increase by adding a stamina script that would call gets the static set stamina and pass it a stamina of 100, and it would set your stamina to 100. Then I had the standard decrease stamina, so it would be called from fire axe every time you swung. Then I had a stamina refresh, which would build back up the stamina. It would increase your stamina if you are under 100. If adding on the stamina would keep you under 100, then it would add it. If it didn't, it would just set it automatically to 100. And that is the gist of what we just did in this tutorial series. This has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I'd thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.